Welcome to the BNB. Today we'll be discussing about Rabbit Finance once again, something we discussed a couple of videos ago. Something really important in my opinion. It's because I've seen a alarming issue ramping up. Already, the pump and dump has already proceeded to be done, but people are still investing into it, and that's something I want to be very for people who are still investing into it, that there's some risk associated with that and why it is so risky. So first of all, there's structural risk. First of all, the Rabbit Finance is built a AMPL fork stable coin, and is its primary strategy is to perma lock users funds. So they lock user funds, and so they cannot sell, and then afterwards the Rabbit team is embezzling funds. Unfortunately, it's hard to understand that, but that's what they do. Also, Rabbit Finance code forces them to do leverage yield farming, which obviously is really risky for the Rabbit team and for its investor. And then the first real major issue that I was able to find is that the dev team claims that there's a limited supply of 203 million Rabbit token, but unfortunately, my research has led me to believing that it is not the case. I've researched the code and I've researched other factors into the Rabbit Finance, and even though it was audited by Certic, a reputable company, not any more reputable in my mind, it is. It says that the max supply was 203 million, but then if you go into the code and you can see that the mint function is restricted to only operator in the code I'm showing you on the screen. And then we have to look what is operator, what operator stands for. And now if we go into the fair launch contract, there's 3 lines in the code that call the mint function. 2 of them are update pool, and one of them is manual mint function. Calling the mint function is manual mint, and that is really dangerous. Updated pool function is used to keep the state of the pool updated. It mints rabbit to the dev addresses, and it contracts distributing rabbits to users. So how you get those users is through the update pool. However, there is no supply or max cap validation there in the code, as you can see highlighted. From the finding, it can be confirmed that Rabbit's max supply is not capped at 203 million Rabbit token, as stated in its document information, which obviously is now false, and that is really dangerous, because if the company is unfortunately claiming to be a certain way, and if that is not being the case, then that means that the management is shady, and you should avoid all kind of association with that certain DeFi network, stock, or whatsoever is. Another issue I was able to find out, it was 100% of the positions can be liquidated and funds can be stolen at any time. Configurable protocol parameters have no maximum limit. All of this can be found into the source code of Pancake Goblin, MDX Goblin, and the source code of Rabbit Finance itself. And these findings we are having show us that unfortunately Rabbit Finance is a very risky investment, because you're relying on the management to be very clean when you could have been relying on a code, and relying on a code is more efficient because code doesn't have emotion, so it doesn't vary between a day or another. Also, the Rabbit AEO can be stolen, and that's another concern that is really hard to discuss, because we have to view the admin properties and also whatsoever related to that. That's why we're not going to get into it. But what I'm saying is Rabbit Finance is very risky and very shady, and obviously you can see it on the graph. It did pump and dump, unfortunately, so we can see already the shadiness unfolding. Now, if you're still investing into Rabbit Coin or Rabbit Finance, the DeFi platform, just be careful, because you can see that these issues are not small issues. They do look like real scammy issues. That's my only thing I have to say to you guys. If you do not believe me, then it's up to you. You are obviously responsible for your own money. I myself sometimes go out and put my money on blackjack, and that's not the responsible thing to do. So just keeping that in mind. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.